So let's talk about a really powerful idea today. What if AI's biggest strength isn't just about crunching numbers, but about preserving culture? We're going to unpack some pretty fascinating insights on AI, language, and innovation, all inspired by a recent conference over in Spain.
Okay, so our journey really kicks off with this. It's a quote from an educator, Robert Martinez. He's at this thing called the ILENIA Projects Day in San Sebastián, and his experience, it gives us the perfect lens to look through for all of this.
All right, so here's the game plan. We're going to start with what was happening in San Sebastián, then we'll pull out 3 huge takeaways for any educator. From there, we'll connect them to a new strategic vision, and finally, we'll turn the big question over to you.
First up, let's set the scene. We're looking at a pretty unique hub of innovation, a place where cutting-edge tech is being put to work to support and, well, to celebrate linguistic diversity.
And this wasn't just, one little project. It was a whole showcase, an entire ecosystem of initiatives. You see names like ELENIA and LANGUNE. The key thing to get here is that these groups represent a really serious collaborative effort between the government, academia, and private industry.
So what's the whole point? It's their shared mission. They are harnessing artificial intelligence, not just to save these languages, but to help them actually thrive in a digital world. This is technology in the direct service of culture.
Okay, so how does this specific event in Spain apply to you? Well, that's really the core of what we're talking about today. The lessons learned here are absolutely universal for any educator who's looking to innovate.
The first, and maybe the most urgent takeaway, is this idea of AI literacy. And listen, this isn't just for the tech department anymore. It's becoming a fundamental skill for every educator to really get what AI can, and just as importantly, what it can't do in a learning environment.
Second, you can see the incredible power of regional collaboration. The success happening in Spain wasn't born from isolation. Nope. It came from schools, researchers, and tech hubs all working together, sharing resources and sharing ideas. And number 3, they're treating multilingual inclusion not as some kind of afterthought, but as a core strategy for growth and innovation. They're literally proving that supporting diversity is also just smart strategy.
So, you see, when you stack these 3 things up, AI integration, collaboration, and inclusion, they're not just separate items on a to-do list. No way. They're a deeply connected strategy. So let's break down what each one actually looks like in practice.
That first point, AI literacy, it goes way beyond just knowing the tech. It's all about strategic integration. This means you're asking the tough questions. How can we thoughtfully weave AI into our curriculum, into our teaching methods, our admin processes? It's a huge shift in mindset, not just buying some new software.
Okay, now for collaboration. And this slide just lays it out perfectly, right? When institutions work by themselves, in their own little silos, they face limited growth and isolated innovation. But by building regional partnerships with other schools, with research centers, with tech hubs, they create an ecosystem that just sparks new opportunities, shares knowledge, and achieves a much, much greater impact.
And that brings us to inclusion. The big takeaway here is a really powerful shift in how we think about it. Promoting multilingualism and digital inclusion, it's not just about doing the right thing. It's a smart, competitive strategy that can boost your institution's reputation, its reach, and its relevance.
Now, when you combine these 3 ideas, you start to move beyond just the day-to-day teaching. You start building a new strategic vision, one that connects what happens in the classroom to the long-term, sustainable growth of your whole institution.
This chart, I think, really pulls it all together. The goals we all want for our institutions, truly enhanced learning, meaningful innovation, sustainable growth, they don't just happen by accident. They are built on these strategic pillars: AI integration, collaboration, and inclusion. This is the foundation for a future-proofed institution.
So, the bottom line is this. We're being invited to think bigger about what innovation in language education can actually look like. It's not just about the latest app or some new gadget. It's about building an entire ecosystem that's smarter, more connected, and that works for everyone. Which leads us to our final and most important section. This is where we take all this reflection and turn it into a plan for action. So, what's your next step?
Let's circle all the way back to where we started, with Robert Martinez. His final thought is the perfect model for us. Now back to my notes to reflect further on how to share this with my school. That right there, that's the critical leap. From just taking in information to actively sharing it and leading change.
And so we'll leave you with this final question. I want you to really think about your own world, your classroom, your department, your entire institution. How could embracing AI literacy, fostering collaboration, and championing inclusion truly transform the way you teach and learn? The journey, you see, it doesn't start with a new technology. It starts with that question.